Hello and welcome to Wealth Today on the Wealth Channel. I'm your host, Kevin Lynch. Let's continue our discussion with Professor Phil Cubeta and family therapist Marty Carter. Today, Marty is discussing the trap that advisors unknowingly fall into with some of their clients. After explaining how to spot the trap, Marty takes us through how to take a step back should an advisor realize too late that they've walked into it. Let's join them now in the studio.
Thank you, Kevin. Welcome, Marty.
Thank you.
Here's a question for you. What is the fix-her trap for advisors? The fix-her trap.
The fix her or fix him, this is probably the most difficult thing that advisors have to work with. And it can sneak up on them. And they can get stuck in the middle and they don't even know it until whap. It's kind of like walking on the fork, having the garden rake hit you. What happens is, it's really what they call triangulation, and that means something is going on in the relationship between the couple that they cannot fix. And so what they want to do is bring in somebody else to agree with them. Right. So it's really a way in which people unknowingly and intentionally try to control or manipulate the situation. So if you and I are together and we can't talk about something, can't resolve it, we say, what do you think about that? Don't you think? What you're really saying to the advisor is, fix him, will you?
Right.
I've actually had people come in and say directly, the husband say, I need you to tell my wife she's spending too much money. And it's like, so my job at that point is to help the couple understand that the husband needs to say that to the wife.
Right.
And the underlying question, of course, is why can't he do that?
Right.
And there probably is an argument at the bottom of the page.
I can see how advisors would be drawn into this when one person in the family is paying the bills, where they see themselves as working, let's say, for dad. Dad is writing the checks, and their children, there's a spouse. It seems like they might be drawn into that just because they're responsive to the person who's their client.
That's a good example, and then that would probably be a topic for another day, and that is who is the client, whether it's that individual paying the bill, if it's the family, the couple, whatever, because that does change the dynamics of what goes on. I think what you just mentioned is a good example of somebody has control. Right. And so they sort of speak up in the meetings. One way advisors get caught is if only one person is talking a whole lot. Right. And they often assume mistakenly that silence by the other partner, often the little old lady, means agreement, and it really doesn't. Right. So they need to find out, what is everybody thinking, what is everybody feeling about this particular work? Right. Is it working for them? Right.
When they notice something like that going on, one is talking, one is silent, there's the implication the one talking is in charge and we should fix the other. How do you take a step back? How does the advisor extricate himself or herself from that trap?
You move to the person who's quiet, and I say, tell me what your thoughts are about this. Tell me, you want to validate the fact that you want to hear what they have to say, so you say things like it's really important. I've actually had people, when I've asked a direct question to the person who's silent, the other one answers. And so, like, how do you keep them quiet? So sometimes it's just like a gentle hand gesture. At one point, years ago, the husband was going, yeah, and the wife was just like this. And the more he talked, the more angry she got, because the message she got from that was, he doesn't want me to say anything. And so the fight almost started. I leaned over and I took her hands in both of mine and said, I really want to hear what you have to say about this. It's important what you think and what you feel about this.
Right. Marty, thank you very much. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Phil. Now let's turn to Emily Shue for today's sales tip, which highlights the importance of obtaining all of your prospects' information for a disability insurance application.
Today's tip comes from Ed Auble of Auble Financial. When qualifying a prospect for disability insurance, make sure to gather all information, good or bad. If a client has a medical history that may not qualify them for coverage, the insurance company will find out. Don't omit less favorable information.
As always, we thank you for tuning in to today's show, and we hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'm Kevin Lynch, wishing you wealth today and every day.